Insights with Terri Coots, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Coots. Here's Terri.
Hi everyone, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Coots. We'll be talking about the week of September the 24th through October the 1st, 2023. I guess the summer is gone. It's a memory. Sometimes I think we're on this wheel that's just so fast. Things go by so fast. Some people will be glad that this summer's gone, and some of us will be sad to see us go. It's just been a whirlwind of a summer between the rains and the storms and the ticks and the flies. The flies were terrible this summer, and my ducks usually take care of them, but they were bitey flies. They would land on the dogs and try to get after their ears, and they were just a pain in the neck. And then right after that, with all that water and the heat right after it, it was mosquitoes. It's still mosquitoes, but I think we're getting a little handle on it with the colder weather at night. But who knows, right? I guess we have to put up with all kinds of stuff. That's the key, is being flexible. Now, what have we got going with astrology and the tarot cards and numerology and guided information? Well, let's dig in and take a peek. Now, I want to thank you first so much for giving me your time and sharing your time with me and taking the time to listen to this. It's a very big gift that I honor and treasure, and I thank you. And I thank Charlie O'Brien for putting this up. He does the website www.terriworld.com, and he does put us on the platforms of Spotify and Apple iTunes and Amazon Music podcasts, SoundCloud, YouTube, and then he gives me the link usually on Sunday or Monday morning, and then I put it on Facebook. And he's got a few of the previous podcasts archived on the website as well. So if you've missed any, or you just want to brush up on it, the last 4 or 5, he's got them there. So thank you again for joining me. We just had Virgo above us for 3 weeks, and now it has changed to Libra. So now the sun sign is in Libra. That's a big change from Virgo to Libra, and we're going to talk about this for the next few weeks as well. And Mars is in Libra as well, so there's some compatibility there. Now, if we're leaning or listing, if you were in a sailboat and you were listing to starboard and somebody put more weight in it, and then you might just capsize. So we have to really strive for balance, because even though a couple planets might be in the same position, it could be too much. So we do have to take a look at that and say, am I compromising too much? Am I not taking into consideration some of my own needs? Am I giving in too much? Or maybe the other way, you have to look at it. Achieving balance is going to be the key word for this next month, because if you look at the icon of Libra, that's basically what it is. It's the woman with the scale and the blindfold. So trying to achieve balance in our lives will be one of the key lessons that the universe will send us situations to try to balance our lives and recognize consciously that we are or we're not. And if we're not, what are we doing? And Mercury, the planet of the mind, how we think, how we communicate, that is in Virgo still. So we still have some of that left over. And Mercury is the ruling planet of Virgo. So it's pretty powerful energy still. So maybe what you'd like to look at is combining, because the two combined are really powerful, is maybe combining the Virgo energy of organization and figuring things out and trying to understand and take things apart and put them back together again, with the Libra energy, which is social and charming and shiny and charismatic and thriving in a group, where Virgo likes to thrive on its own so that we could balance alone time and social time. Libra likes to share ideas and figure things out, trying for a balanced approach in everything, because balance is the key. Whereas with Virgo doesn't necessarily want to share ideas unless it's a special situation or special people. They kind of keep it to themselves. If there's something that they want to judge, quietly, of course, it is a quiet kind of energy. It's not something that they would share. So this is a nice, hopefully, integration of alone and social. We will lean as Libra starts to take a hold. We're going to lean in maybe wanting our home done, look at renovations, looking around our place a little differently, and say, maybe we want a better chair or a better comforter. We will love beautiful things. It really puts a pressure of attraction, right? It's Venus ruled naturally. So the planet of attraction, and because it's a venal planet, Libra is ruled by Venus. So this attraction to maybe material things or material possessions. Also, the keen eye of discrimination, which is looking at a coat. And if that coat is a beautifully done leather coat that's really expensive, the appreciation of the talent of the craftsman, the talent and the quality of the leather, all of that will play an effect. Maybe, watch it, maybe making us spend more money in areas than what we would normally. So if you were like me, having to go out and buy a washing machine because yours broke, not pointing any fingers at washing machines here, you may be more drawn to all the gadgets and all the steam clean and all of that. And maybe to balance, going in with a goal. Do I need this? This is the cap of what I'm going to spend. Just don't let Venus throw you into a tsunami of being attracted to things and think that you have to have it, because it really does lean on the side of increasing our material possessions and what's aesthetically pleasing. And with that Virgo energy, we're willing to work hard to acquire those items, so that's a nice comfort too. But the willingness and the want to enjoy comfortable home, a lovely atmosphere, making your house cozy, what type of lifestyle, art, any of that is very, very strong right now. Now, Venus, the planet of love and beauty, technically now is in Leo. Leo is that shiny lion roar kind of energy. I don't think it's the best place for Venus, but if you think of the lion, it really is a romantic energy. Sometimes hopelessly romantic when it's paired with Libra in the position that it is. So we do have to keep an eye on that. Leo, if you look at the pride of lions, they are very social animals. Yeah, they do have their boundaries, of course, but there is a certain romantic quality to it when the lion is wrestling with the buffalo and the male lion runs in to save the day and throws the buffalo on the ground and saves his queen, or protects her from other suitors or whatever. There is a certain amount of romantic energy that surrounds Leo when it's in the planet of Venus. But just look at the ulterior motives, and I don't want to get negative on you, but that male lion is saving her so he can have her to himself to genetically reproduce. There is an underlying current that he would benefit from her being in an okay place. So again, we may have to look at some of the energy that's wafting to us. Am I being drawn to something because it would benefit me? Am I being drawn? Is somebody else trying to draw themselves to me because it would benefit them? It's just something that we have to look at. Not that we have to be cynical. We're not asking for people to be cynical. What the universe is asking, just look at it. Just look at it. And if a romantic gesture would help the courtship, so what? Like, what do you lose? I think in many cases, not all cases, but in many cases, we have lost the ability to be romantic. in my day as a boomer. Good heavens, if a gentleman if he was calling for you, he had to ask your parents to see if it was okay, if they agreed that you could date. And you didn't date right off the bat, you had chaperones. And he had to come to the front door to pick you up. Your dad was there, or your mom, but mostly it was your dad that was there, that would grill them and tell them what time you were supposed to be home. And he was polite, hopefully, or you weren't going anywhere. And he got out of the car and opened your door and opened your door to get in and opened doors for you. And the man always paid for the dinner. You'd never think of paying for your own. But then women didn't work either as much as they do, and they worked at home. So there's so many things that have changed, and I'm not sure what courtship and romantic gestures are anymore. Does a guy get himself slapped for opening a door for a woman and she thinks he's undermining her? I don't know. I'm so confused. I am so confused. And I think we all are confused to a certain degree. So that in mind, be balanced as much as you can and look at some of the conflicting energy fields that are going to waft all over us in the next little bit. Now, the beginning of the week, the weakness may be, our vulnerable parts. The weakness may be our calf, our ankles, shins, the Achilles, tendon. So it may be our lower limbs. So if you're going to go play something, you may, you may need to be more careful. If you're going to do frisbee golf, just watch you don't step in a hole. And so just be careful. When planets change like that, our spatial discernment is off. And this is where might take the wrong step on the ladder. And if you're not holding on to both, it could be bad. Getting up in your hayloft. Of course, all of you have haylofts. Getting up in your hayloft, you want to make sure that you hold on to the rafters real well when you're leaving the ladder to get into the hayloft, because accidents happen. So just be careful when we switch planets like that. And the vulnerability, as I said at the beginning of the week, will be the lower part of the body. And remember, this is general. This isn't for anybody specific. Then the middle of the week, it really goes down to the bottom of our limbs and lands in the feet, the toes. So if you are vulnerable in your feet, maybe you're on your feet all day with your working, or you have a fallen metatarsal or an arch that isn't happy, just take extra care, because it's not going to be happy if you don't take extra care with this right now. Then towards the very end of the week, it moves up. So it goes to the head, the teeth, the tongue. If you are in any way vulnerable to headaches or migraines, this could be something that hits you. So just, be aware. The number that came for us for this week is number 22. Now that's unusual. Usually when I ask for a number, they give me single digits. So I'm more alert when I see double digits. Now 2 and 2 is 4, so you can look up the number 4. But I took it literally, and 22 rules collective activities. Well, that makes sense, being that Libra is so social and people-oriented and partner-oriented, because in astrology, it is the house of partners. So collective activities would be good. So take a few people and do frisbee golf, or go out for a hike or something, asking a few people to go, or have a few people over for dinner if you want to show your home off. Personal life will be around people, will be around you, around being with people. So it's Libra energy when it's in this energy, and the number 22 is really putting that need to be around other people in full force. Now, challenge, always a challenge, right? They never do anything without a challenge. Number 22 tends to put pressure on us to take our personal life and make it second place to our work life. Now that's a challenge, because Libra likes social and that home energy of Virgo, and that and also Leo in Venus, we've got two warring factions there. So part of you want to go out and part of you want to stay in. So you're going to have to decide what you want to do. 22 has a desire to build things for other people. So I took advantage of it, knowing that it was 22, and I asked a friend whose husband is handy and likes to do projects, and I, of course, pay him. And he's going to build another fence, another compound for my dogs. So my dogs have all kinds of compounds just to keep the interest up. I'm having to keep my dogs a little closer to my home because of the hawks and the eagles and the owls. If I could just let them out. I have 43 acres and 5 of those acres are fenced in. I didn't have to worry. I have to worry now because of the eagles and the hawks, and the eagle just sat in the tree the other day in my front yard. Lovely sight, but I was terribly concerned for my ducklings and my little tiny min pins and Chinese crested. So I'm having to build fences close to the house and cover them and try to make everybody safe. Agree with nature and disagree with nature eating my pets. So number 22 fills other people with a desire to build things for others. So I took advantage of that and said, would you like a project to work on? And he said, yes. So I'm getting another fence in, hopefully put in before the end of the week. Yay! And it also allows us to see far in the future how this is going to land and how that's going to land. And it also helps us to have a broad view of things. Yay! We need to have a bigger view in many cases. I'm afraid some of us are narrow-minded. The weakness of number 22 can be mental overload. We have to watch that. It can be a lack of concentration. And it could contribute to catastrophic thinking. So we have to look at that as well. Catastrophic thinking, you're probably all aware, and it's just like it sounds. Always going to the worst place. Your kid takes the car, he's going to have an accident, he's going to have a rollover, he's going to die. Catastrophic thinking. There's a storm coming, the electricity's going to go out, this is going to happen. Catastrophic thinking. So we have to look at, is my thinking always catastrophic? Or am I just leaning in that way every once in a while? You just have to look at it. Some of the cards that I pulled for my folks out there that are generous enough to listen to me, it's really odd. I just finished a reading before I started this podcast, and I mean, this deck is shuffled all over the place. One side of the reading that I pulled is all pentacles. I pulled 6 cards. The other side is all hearts. So right out of the gate, what it tells me is that many of our concerns, the overbearing weight of our concerns, will be our financial and our physical resources, where we live. We live on earth. We live in this physical world. We have to eat. We have to sleep, hopefully in a comfortable place. So it's going to be in all these places. Now, given that, the first card that's pulled is counseling us not to let your fear of things run away. And I apologize for the background dog. I put my dogs outside, but that doesn't mean that they're going to close their lips. I may have to press pause and tell them to be still, but we'll see. They might do it on their own. Please. So it's fear. It's maybe concentrating on how much we don't have as opposed to how much we do have, or looking at what we do have. Concentrating on the fearful part can maybe contribute to bringing in more lack of things. So we have to be really careful where our mind goes. Hard not to get scared when we see other people, their basements are flooding and their house is flooding and we're right next door. How do you not become afraid of that? And what they're showing, the next one, is the kingdom is safe. So on a whole, most of us are in a safer position than what we feel like we are. But if we would just take a moment to look around and not be stampeded, if the buffalo would all stay in that circle with all the young and the vulnerable ones in the center, those lions could never, never, never penetrate that circle. They would never be able to kill a buffalo. But they do kill buffalo. Why? Because they scare them and stampede them. So as soon as they stampede, they're out of luck. They're vulnerable. They're open. The flank is open. The rear is open. Someone's going to die. So that's what they're trying to tell us. The universe is trying to tell us, keep the circle, keep the strength, stay courageous. Don't be stupid. It's not about being stupid and face the lion alone and then you're a meal. It's about using and being with other people to make that strength. Look at what we did with the Greenbelt. We didn't let Ford away. I'm not pro Ford, against Ford. We didn't let him away with taking, with no consequence, space away from the Greenbelt. Some people yelled loud enough, long enough to make him listen. And saying, I'm sorry, the buck stops with me, wasn't good enough for these people. Hooray for them. And his minister, Clark, had to resign. That wasn't going to do it. He wasn't going to do it till we got together and made enough noise to say, we're not going to accept this. This is unacceptable. The way it was done is unacceptable. The corruption is unacceptable. Patting people's palms that don't need it is unacceptable. Now, he apologized. Wow. I could maybe rob a bank and take some money out of the bank and just say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. But keep the money, pocket the money, I don't know that would be enough. So we have to look at that. We have to look at, all right, how do we not only hold our own in the buffalo circle, but maybe there are consequences. So maybe that lion might have to get stepped on. Or the horn has to show the lion, don't do this again. Or the lions are going to keep trying, right? So that's what they're trying to teach us, is what do we need to do to tell the people that are around us, maybe our boss, maybe our peers, maybe our children, maybe our friends, what consequence are you going to receive for stepping on somebody else's toes or doing it wrong? Or don't be afraid to let somebody deal with their own consequences, I guess is basically this in a nutshell. Many of you, the card of work came here upside down. So many of you are going to find it difficult at work. Energy just seems to be upside down in many of the quadrants in work. So I'm not saying that there's a solution here. I guess it's just looking at it. I guess if other people are suffering with the same thing, we can own it. Work isn't going to be a pleasant place for many, many, many people. And then the other side of it is emotional. So they're saying that we are really going to have to fight hard to continue feeling the joy in our life and to continue feeling emotional success. So it is just not there free. So it's looking like we're going to have to, how do we sustain our happiness? How do we sustain feeling that feeling of, oh, I'm so lucky? I had one of those moments this morning. It's a Sunday, right? And it's just beautiful day. A nice crisp breeze. The mosquitoes hadn't landed yet. My ducks were quacking. The turkeys were turkeying. The chickens were doing what they do. The dogs were all happy. And the sun is out. And I'm so fortunate to be on the farm. Just a beautiful Sunday morning, dragging my cup of coffee, putting on a fence post, filling up the water for the ducks, just watching everything. Caught an egg. I outran the egg. I got an egg. Eggs are in short supply right now because we're coming into winter and they're starting to build their muscle mass for eggs, for their keeping themselves warm, not eggs. So it was a gift from the universe. Had a fresh, warm, scrambled egg a little bit later. So I squeezed all the joy out of that. And that's what they're asking you to do. Simple pleasure. Didn't cost me anything. I live here. It's just about being aware of what contributes to your joy and really maximizing it. And that's what this whole left side of the reading is about. So that's it, folks. That's what we have coming for next week. If you need a reading for yourself, I'd be happy and honored to do that. Just text or call 519-726-6699, or you can email me at terri.coutts@gmail.com. And again, a big thanks for Charlie putting us up on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Amazon, SoundCloud, and he gives me the link for YouTube, and I will put that up as well on Facebook so you can follow the YouTube link. Thank you, Charlie, and the website. www.terriworld.com he has created for me as well. So if you need any computer work done or websites, he's the guy to go see. Thanks again, everybody. Have a wonderful week, and we will talk next week. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com. TERRI world.com.